Hi, I'm Rachel Robichotti, and I'm here with Sandy Hunt, who is the Senior Director of Social Impact at the Wharton School of Business. We are both together at the Gender Smart Investing Summit in London, where we are doing lots to move this conversation forward about how to improve the lives of women using investments.
Yep.
And Sandy's group has come out with a new study just yesterday that's very exciting and has some data points that we as RISE are very interested in learning more about. Can you tell us about
And that we at the Wharton Social Impact Initiative are thrilled to hear people want to use. So hi, I'm Sandy Hunt, and the framework is the 4 for women. So at the Wharton Social Impact Initiative, we focus on 2 things. One is building the talent pipeline, so making sure that impact investing has a solid pipeline of professionals. But 2, and more important to this work, is building the evidence base, knowing what academic research says about certain topics. And the 4 for women really took a close look at what you should measure and what you should evaluate if you want to understand if a company is a good employer of the women it employs. And right now, there just is not a sort of necessary and sufficient framework that can be applied across industries and across geographies. And so we put together one that is.
Wonderful. Can you tell us what those primary...
Absolutely. So here it is, the 4 for women: representation, pay, health, and satisfaction. So you may watch this video and say, duh, please tell me my advisors already knew that. But this actually,
how
are we measuring it? Exactly. So what the report does is actually go into suggested metrics against each of these 4 necessary and sufficient criteria, as well as some best practices around methodology, how they should be reported, collected, what is a very good practice for getting this sort of data, what practices are less effective and why.
Great.
And so we hope it is a helpful toolkit for individuals as employees or seeking employment, and for companies to change their behavior. But likely the largest lever is going to be the finance moving into those companies and thinking about the investment. So it is a real treat for me to hear the interest from someone who is on the side of pulling that lever, that this is going to be something that you will inform your work.
Yes, absolutely. Very interested. Just taking a look at the 4, I can see pay makes sense to me. That's kind of like making sure women are paid equally. And you can see, you probably can't see all of the text here, but we will include a link to your website.
Yes.
But so equal pay makes sense to me. But can you tell us more about satisfaction? What does that actually mean, and what do you mean by representation?
Yes, so representation is important because you could be a company that pays women really well, has the most rockin' healthcare you've ever seen, and is like a totally great place to work, and employ no women. So it starts with representation. So we need to ensure that the companies not only employ women, and that's why it's representation and not headcount, is because we want to see women represented not only at a significant amount in the company, but at every level of the company. So to make sure that you don't have a company that's, the top 5% of earners are male and the top 50% of earners are male, and then the bottom 50% are female. So we really want to make sure that that representation happens throughout the company. Health, we think, obviously, it goes without saying that physical health is important, and that is what people tend to think about first. But this section actually includes sexual safety as well. So we do kind of dive into a little bit of the sort of Me Too zeitgeist and talk about what it means, the difference from, sexual assault and harassment and safety, and how you start to measure some of those trickier factors like psychological safety in the workplace. And then satisfaction, making sure that the working conditions are satisfactory. So making sure that this framework does consider a global perspective, and we're not just thinking about what separates good and great companies in, for instance, a developed economy, but really thinking about making sure everyone globally who is meeting this framework has a satisfying, safe, well-paying, well-represented place of work.
That sounds fantastic.
Yes.
We're very
Wouldn't that be a great world?
Yes, it
Please
would.
help us. Help us build that world.
And at RISE, we're very excited to take into account the fabulous research that you've done in the study. And
let us know how we can help.
Yeah, be part of making that world.
Excellent.
Thank you, Sandy.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.